I don't know why it glitched there for a second. My perfect cake stinger transition, which makes this seem like it has more production value than it actually has. I don't know why it glitched there. But you could stop at 5 or 6 stores or just one. Just one. And that is this right here, the PigCast on Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Pacific. Why? Because I'm on the right time zone, the best time zone, the only time zone. As a matter of fact, I forget when anybody else messages me or texts me or tells me that they're from another place. I just assume that I'm from this particular time zone because that's how bigoted I am. Now that, of course, is a reference, the 5 or 6 stores bit, to a video that I saw years ago, and it's gotten some popularity recently, but I want to say that it's probably one of the best. Wow. Isn't that great? Wasn't that wonderful? I love it when stuff works on this fucking channel, don't you think? That video was a reference to this, or that comment was a reference to this video. This video, rather. There you go. Look at that, right? Isn't it great when things work the first time? Isn't it amazing?
Hi, my name is Carla Shaw. You can stop at 5 or 6 stores or just one. I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
See, usually they do a little thing. I guess that she had an additional line there, but I guess the instruction from the director was do a little bit of a pose.
Hi, I'm Todd Lewis.
This is my favorite series of videos, and I imagine if you just come home drunk one day and you have this playing on your TV over and over again, it's something that would probably change your life. You know? Let's see. Kind of Alien vibes, right? Alien versus Predator vibes here. But this seems like the type of person that would probably ruin you. Would probably ruin you sexually. If you could ignore this, right? And even this, not much here, to be honest. But looks like it would just never stop. And it's grippy. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? It's morning. It's morning, my friends. We shouldn't be talking about things like that so early in the morning. Welcome to the PigCast. I apologize for any kerfluffle that you might have seen here. I try to keep this show as professional and as legitimate as possible, right? That's kind of the key here. If you've noticed, the show initially started off being just my hands in front of some sort of a Samsung Galaxy S7 phone. And now, look at where it's come, right? A shitty studio apartment in Miami, Florida, in Little Havana. As if I couldn't say much. That's not really describing a lot, right? You would think, whoa, man, you're really describing a lot. That's pretty much every single place. Every single building is a duplex in Miami for some odd reason. You have Cuban families that have at least 6 generations of family members living under one roof. Literally, that's not a thing. Or that is a thing, sorry. My goodness. Honey, you got a big storm coming. Maybe I should use those for video drops. They have a couple of those. Actually, let's go to this one real quick. My favorite gal here. I'm sorry, I got distracted. It happens often.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Fuck yeah.
You could stop at 5 or 6 stores or just one.
Fuck yeah,
You
dude.
could stop at 5 or 6.
Fuck yeah, dude. That shit pumps me up, to be honest, man. Seeing people try to get like an acting gig and seeing the behind the scenes. I imagine that was what that was for. I know that I saw a video on what it was, but I watched it half-assed while cleaning my dishes, so I didn't really engage on that. Jumpin' John says TMP deck 111111111, which I imagine is some sort of tistic way of showing excitement for the deck, of which I'm still waiting on quotes from. Jumping John, everyone's favorite referee. I'm waiting on quotes from United States Playing Card Company and from Cardamundi. They haven't sent them my way. I'm waiting. I want to see what it's like, right? I've sent them emails, by the way, obnoxiously. And my last email was, I think, the most obnoxious because it was acknowledging of the fact that they're busy and that I'm sending them a follow-up email. I don't know if you're part of that life where you've sent follow-up emails to people, and it's the most obnoxious aspect of any sort of work environment because it's essentially both parties knowing what's up, right? The person that hasn't responded, they know that they've seen the email and they just haven't responded. The person sending the follow-up email is just pretty much saying, hey, motherfucker, hey, could you please do the aspect of your job that you're being paid for, which is to look at email and respond accordingly. So it's this ambiguity that you kind of have to dance around using corporate lingo. But I was there trying to be funny with Cardamundi and USPC, but I'm waiting on them. Joey Tulip says, hey, I'm at work, but I'm going to let your stream play on mute so you get the watch time. Look at that. Look at that. That's a true OG right there. That's a real OG. Although right now I could be saying anything, right? You could just be seeing me gesticulating and you don't know what I'm saying. You just know that things are happening or things seem like they're happening, but really nothing's happening. So that's kind of a good one there. Your time zone whack. Somewhat. It is the New York one. I believe Brazil as well. A certain part of Brazil, because Brazil is pretty much bigger than the States. But it's aligned with a lot of things that are of relevance, okay? It's the time zone of 9/11. Did you think about that, huh, buddy? So if you're anti this time zone, you're anti 9/11. And if you're anti 9/11, you're anti America. Actually, no. That's like saying you're pro cancer. No, you're pro anti cancer. You're not pro cancer. Car crash. You know what? We'll do the car crash. I deserve that. I deserve that car crash. It's kind of tough. Pigception, Mckamey Manor is not a haunted house. It's a torture chamber for those that are into that kind of stuff, which again lets me believe that we deserve COVID. We deserve all the bad things that have come to us because of things like Mckamey Manor, which is the title of this video. I've done a video on this, trying to branch out into more generalized content. I don't think people liked it as much as I thought they would, but you know what? It was my good attempt, and it was a video that I did on Mckamey Manor, which I thought was fun. Right, a good deep look at the transgressions that take place in the actual manor. And the reason I titled it that is because I saw a video on it and I wanted to go through it in this particular PigCast because it's the worst sort of reverse psychology I've ever seen in my life. It's a good lesson on how not to do reverse psychology and how to be completely transparent. So it's going to be that. Also some news bits, right, which I found interesting. And I wanted to share here because, again, as I've mentioned before, this is not really a sort of entertainment show. It's almost selfish of me because this is more of a sort of therapy for me, an outlet, if you would. Now, granted, I am on a platform like YouTube where I can't really say the things that I want to say, right? Because then it would really be therapy. So it's almost a smaller form of therapy for me, unfortunately. Are you going to Mckamey Manor? Could you imagine what kind of deluded, demented individual? For those people that aren't necessarily familiar with that, I guess I should provide some context, right? This is a good article on it. It talks about what it is. It talks about how people enjoy this sort of stuff, and also the fact that that could also be a lie. Because one of the things that they tout, it's that there's like a 20,000 person wait list for this particular place. Now, what this is a haunt, right? We've all been to Halloween Horror Night or something equivalent, one of those scary things where they dress up a section of the mall. This one is not that. They started off as that, and then they wanted to get a little bit more intense. So essentially what they do is that you sign up to get tortured. And if you make it through the torturing, you essentially get money. However, nobody's done it because the rules change. They're fluid, right? The rules are gender fluid, according to what Russ Mckamey, who's the dean of the manor, this guy right here, from my understanding, works at Walmart now, from my little looking into it. But so it's up to him. The rules are up to him. So if he deems that you're worthy of passing, then you're gonna pass. But unfortunately, you don't, and you sign a non-disclosure agreement as well as a agreement that they could pretty much do whatever they want to you. They could shave your head. They could dunk you in toilet water. They could make you eat things like bugs. It's a weird thing that people subject themselves to. I don't believe that there's a long wait list for this, but I do believe that there are a certain demographic of people that this appeals to. The tardish kind, right? But there are some people that actually went through the entirety of it, which is what I wanted to get into here. And he said, no, you're not fit. You're not psychologically fit to make it through. So we have to pull you out. There's also no safety word. Usually in these sort of weird haunts, there's safety words, right? Where if something's making you really uncomfortable or you're about to have a panic attack or something like that, you could say the safety word and they pull you out. Not with him. That's one of the things that they touted. And there's weird, nefarious ways to get around laws from his city. So he would do things out of county line, and then he would also have certain things. And it's a weird process. But it's very interesting because it gets to show you the level of depravity that the human kind have, right? We crave these sort of things. Imagine that we're here for a very limited amount of time, and this is the sort of stuff that we willingly subject ourselves to for fun, just to see if we could test ourselves. Oh my God, Samantha's so quirky. Wow, did you see her? She's such a free spirit. And this is where that leads you into coming up with haunts like this and being a part of haunts like that. My goodness. Maybe you could go with your favorite expert playing card company. Maybe. I've looked around, right? But then it's also the reputation that playing cards have when it comes to, not playing cards. Playing cards don't have a reputation, right? They're not people. They're objects. Or they could have a reputation. Never mind. What I meant to say is that playing card companies have reputations, right? So there's a lot of playing card companies that do printing now at a more reasonable price at very similar finishes, like Expert and all the other stuff. But from what I've been looking, right, people don't tend to find those as legitimate as the other ones. I don't care, right? I would go with Make Playing Cards if I wouldn't have a say in the choice. I would go, hey, Make Playing Cards. I'd go with that, go with their finish, go with the crush stock, and then make everything easy. Because they've been so good with the prototypes and the time on that and everything. I'm like, might as well go with them. Everything looks great on their end. Crush stock, custom box, everything nice. Cards are good. But no, people wouldn't buy the deck because they would pretty much scream at the fact that they were printed with Make Playing Cards. So I have to go with the big guns, right? USPC, Andor, Cardamundi, same thing. But I rather have that and add that to the potential selling points of the deck. Let me go through here. Sorry. I know that I try to go through all the comments, right? Because one of the things that I've been judged for is, hey, man, PigCake, you've let the fame get to your head, man. You no longer are the same PigCake, right? You just gloss over the comments. You don't address people. No, I want to make sure that I'm addressing the comments, right? I'm not bigoted in the sense of, look at my massive ego for being a F-level magician. Phil Smith says, is this the place where they just abuse you? Yeah, they just literally abuse you, but they cover it as a haunt. Isn't that great, right? They could cover what they do as a literal torture as a haunt, as a fun thing, as a thing you do just to test your limits. Isn't that great? There's also similar services that kidnap you. We deserve the worst, honestly, us as humans. Magic Media News says, are you going? I already read that one. I could imagine, but I don't want to. This is not a haunted house. You've also said, I used to believe this was okay, but then I realized this guy was just a psychopath with his way around the law. Why can't you go with Make Playing Cards? Well, I printed the linen finish. I did listen to your I guess advice. I went with the linen finish on the prototypes just to try them out. Tremendous. They feel wonderful. They spread great. I don't know what the longevity is, but unfortunately, I feel like the rep would among the card snobs, right, that I'm trying to sell to, would be, oh, you printed with Make Playing Cards? What? So ideally, one of the selling points I would like to have is that I made it with a reputable, not to say that Make Playing Cards not reputable, they've been great, but with an established card printing company, unfortunately. Maybe I should start my own printing company. They say they're of bad quality, those fellas at Make Playing Cards. The guy who was trained in okay, there you go. The guy was to tie it back to the Mckamey Manor, which is what I want to show you, which I guess I might as well just get into, right? Might as well get into. Wait a second, right before I do that.
6 stores or just one. Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
Yeah. Okay. I just needed a little break there. So this is what I saw that kind of peeved me off, right? If I want to sound like a oh wow, okay, great, that's wonderful, that's tremendous. I love TickTock. They have the best platform for video content where you press one thing, you touch your middle mouse button in a way that's not directive with their fucking whatever the fuck, and it's 20 things that pop up. I love that. But here's the video that kind of got me on that. I guess I might as well show it. Right? And of course, this is how it's going to look like. I tried zooming in. That was my mistake. I tried zooming in. But alas, you could kind of get it. So just some context, right? This is a guy that was pulled out by Russ Mckamey, who's the guy that runs the whole joint, because Russ saw that he wasn't fit. And this is the sort of reverse psychology that got me to watch this. And I don't know, just wanna give him one of those uppercuts, right? It's obviously not my prerogative. It's obvious that the people that actually partake in this particular manner are not really sound individuals. They're not really individuals that you'd want to hang out with because they would willingly subject themselves to this thing. Oh, I'm testing my pain. Now you could test your limits in other ways, right? It's called exercise. It's called running, doing things like that. This is something I guess I would recommend and vote no on. But you could see the guy's perfectly fine, and Russ is trying to get him, essentially, to admit defeat.
Stable enough to do this. No offense.
Stable. I'm fine, man.
No, you're really not.
We'll be out, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, if it makes you feel better, so you're right. We pulled you out because you were going to beat the Manor.
I was.
Exactly.
Proved you wrong on the water?
You did. You proved us all wrong, man. You were going to take
you
the Manor.
You made me quit anyway, so...
You were going to beat the Manor all the way, right?
Well, you can't let me get there, so,
I know. You were going to take the Manor on. You were going to beat the Manor.
But you can't get there when you're afraid somebody's going to get there.
Here, talk to the camera if you're going to talk.
I said all I had to say, man. They've seen it. Did they see it? You tell me to quit when I was in the water. I told you I needed a rest. That wasn't enough for you. After I rested, I stayed down over 30 seconds. You pulled me back up. I got back on that turtle when you got all upset because I did that. You threw that helmet on me, pushed me down, and I still dragged that thing, and you're still pulling me out.
I know.
I'm physically
fine.
I feel great.
Isn't it? It's a con,
I'm fine.
So yeah, so obviously one of the big criticisms of Mckamey Manor is that the whole thing's a scam, right? The whole thing's a scam. Obviously, makes sense. He's not going to pay you because he's the one that comes up with the rules as to what is a winning sort of run in the house. And right now he's addressing that in a sort of weird reverse psychology way. I guess in his demented mind, he's trying to make it seem like this guy is like he's nuts. Like he's the one that's nuts, right? Like, yeah, you caught us. Yeah, sure, you caught us. But it really comes off as disingenuous and apparent to anybody watching this that it's Russ, the person that's running the whole thing. That's the fucking asshole here.
Do I look tired right now? No, I just needed a rest. Because you kept me up all night long for nothing, man. And I still did that crap. I'm fine. If you do this,
the Manor's a con, right?
Dude.
Right? It's a con, isn't it?
If he knows you can do it, he won't let you get to the Manor.
Exactly. So we all know, we all saw for the last 3 hours that you could do it, right?
Yeah. But you got your time limit, so...
Okay.
Can't let you rest. Hey, give me some
man.
Good
deal. Oh, God.
It's for your dogs.
Douche chills. Douche chills, my friends, from this. How fucked do you have to be, first of all, to run this whole this shindig? And then secondly, right, just the whole approach of no, yeah, you're right. This is you caught us. It's a big scam. Yeah, it is a big scam. Because the rules are up to you and they change depending on how you feel. And some people get less, some people get more. If they happen to show some sort of resistance, you really go off the wall. This guy was just describing some basic things of being almost drowned. And Russ is trying to put himself as, oh, no, I saved you there, buddy. I saved you. Yeah, it's obvious, right, from the past 3 hours that you were going to make it through. Being sarcastic, it could have been obvious. And if you've ever seen any of these videos, it's just gross. It's nasty. This guy he looks like the fucking, he does actually look like he'd be the type of person to work in some sort of isolated car gas station. My goodness. Fuck. He looks like the type of person to work at a gas station in some sort of rural Iowa. That's kind of what I was going to get at. My goodness. Let's see this. I get it. We stopped working with the big boys. We also spent years building the brand before we rolled the dice. Where are you printing now? Who are you printing now then, Phil? And it says, how much does it cost to do the Manor? Like, as a victim. It costs nothing. It costs nothing. Apparently, it's nothing. He takes money in the payment, or he takes payment in the form of dog food. Because one of the things that he sells himself as is that he's big with rescuing dogs. And as a matter of fact, a good portion of the haunt is dealing with dog poop. Maybe walking through it, he makes you do that. He throws it on you, right? He makes you eat dog food, right? He makes you bark like a dog. So there's a lot of dog-related issues that this guy has. But one of the selling points is, oh, we donate all this food to shelters and stuff like that. So the only payment that you have to have is dog food. We don't even take money. So there's also a weird thing with that. But the guy's just a fucking weirdo. And the people that subject themselves to this is even worse, because you're doing something under the guise of, oh, I just want to test myself, right? It's the whole basic, I'm going to go backpacking in Nicaragua. I'm going to go backpacking in Central America, in the Sinaloa region of Mexico. I'm going to go backpacking just to find myself after I broke up with Trevor. It's that sort of people that this appeals to. But can Russ Mckamey do a double lift, though? Russ Mckamey probably looks like the type. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here, right? This guy, at some point in his life, was into close-up magic. I think that's a guarantee here. He looks like a type of person that would be the one doing like a crummy card trick at some sort of get-together, some sort of barbecue, right? Everybody's whispering, going, hey, that's the guy. That's the dude with the poop. And, look at this, right? This is one of the people that he's taking a selfie with. There's kind of an art to this, actually, because it's almost like an open, able psycho allowing to do his will because you signed a contract. Although, from my understanding, that contract doesn't really stand up to any sort of legal scrutiny. From what I've seen in this, again, that's just, I don't want to say hearsay, but things that I've seen after somebody's leaked it. And lawyers have gone through it and said, yeah, this would never stand up in any sort of lawsuit because the things that he asks are not within reasoning, are not within any sort of reasoning. So I found that to be interesting. But he does look like the type to know a good double lift. Bleh, it would be more legit if it cost $100. Making it the free kind makes it worse, right? It makes it more Saw-like. It makes it more like, oh, great, you've signed up to be a part of the Jigsaw Killer. It seems like the type of stuff that you would. I feel like it's also a white person thing, not to white person bash, but I feel like a person of Latin and or POC as they're called, they would never subject themselves to this sort of stuff. It seems like a white girl thing, and as a matter of fact, from that thing I just closed, it was seemed like a white chick. Right, a girl trying to find herself after a breakup. She already changed the color of her hair. She already got a weird, quirky haircut. And now she goes, oh, I'm a fan of horror. Let me go to Mckamey Manor. That's just the vibe that I'm getting from that. Let me go through here. Yeah, what would be getting out of it? It's not money. It's something fucking weird. I think they get 20K. They get 20K from it if they run through it. Let's see. The prototype of a forgotten deck was made with MPC. Excellent quality. Yeah, no, as I've mentioned before, the quality's really gone up from when I used to buy their prototypes to now. And the speed and how fast they print. But again, unfortunately, I put myself in the position of a snob trying to buy my stuff and going, wait a second. Who made the finish on this? Make playing cards? And then potentially losing out on much needed customers for that deck, potential customers. But I'm waiting on the quotes, and then I'm going to start the Kickstarter for that. Holy shit, you're ripped now. Congrats. Ripped now. I don't know if that's Well, I have been working out, not necessarily ripped. I don't know if I could say that, especially with, I'm trying to be good with my diet. I really am. But, you know, you have weaknesses, right? But they're still all within the confines of protein and within the confines of trying to reduce my my calories while being in a good balance with my current weight. But yeah, I guess I've seen videos of me before, maybe a year ago, and I was a little tubby, man. I was a little tubby. There was a little bit of tub there. I think I've lost some of that tub, so that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But I've always kind of had a massive ego when it came to that sort of stuff. I've never been the type of person that went, whoa, man, I really hate myself. Look at that. Look at you. You're so short. I've always made up for it with ego and perception of myself, which is not in tune with reality, but it is in tune with my reality. Let's do one of these for that. Car crash segment. I apologize for that, but the Mckamey Manor is definitely a good rabbit hole if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Psychology in the sense of what drives an individual. There's a lot of interviews after the fact, right? And it's a good lesson as to how a person reacts to shock. As much as it pains me to say that, much like these old psychological experiments were back in the 50s and 60s, back when they could do fun stuff without caring about litigation and or human rights, and you found out some really interesting things about how humans act under stress. It's a good lesson at that. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, Mckamey Manor, I did a video on it. Goes a little bit into it, or a little bit deeper into it. Other people have done videos on it, having deeper dives. But speaking of deeper dives, right? People give us shit here in Florida. We get a lot of flack. We get a lot of shit from people from worse places, right? Anytime somebody from overseas, sorry, Phil, anytime from someone from the good old country of England gives me flack as an American, or gives me flack as a person from Florida, the legendary state, right, where all the fun things happen. You have people wrestling alligators. You have people dousing themselves in lemon, thinking that that's going to make them invisible to cameras, right? That's the sort of reputation we get. Even that, I think it's way better. This is in New York, right? This just happened. You could figure things out here based on the appearance, even though they're in sort of costumes. They're in what's the term? I'm really dying here today. Maybe I should stick to the later shows because this early one is not really doing it well for me. They're in disguises, right? That's the right word. And this is commonplace in the New York subways. But we get shit. So this is a robbery of a bunch of females dressed in what looks like to be green outfits. Some of those things that you could hide in a green screen with. Now, that was pretty clean. I'm not going to lie, right? I'm giving, obviously, these criminals a lot of flack. But if you notice, that's a clean roundhouse kick. Yeah, there was she grabs the bar and she does what looks like to be some sort of roundhouse kick that completely demolishes this person here. Look at that. Wow. That was kind of impressive, to be honest. So yeah, there's a gang of women dressed like it says neon leotards. I wouldn't say that as much as those are Green Man outfits. If you're familiar with Filthy Frank, right? Where you're in a green screen and you're trying to do stuff. You don't want to be seen, so there's this sort of stuff. Although it is a little bit more neon than green screen. But they're robbing someone, and they end up robbing two teenagers of a purse and a couple phones. What's astonishing to me, by the way, is just a normal day, right? It's not the robbery. That's obviously crazy. But just the people chilling. This person's recording it, obviously. This guy over here is just chilling, right? Watching. This guy, what's going on? Let me just move away. Homeboy, I don't know if he's going to do anything. Or if maybe it's his next stop. But nobody cares. Just normal, right? Oh, shit, man. Fuck, a robbery. So funny enough, somebody says nobody else saw that insane spin kick, grab, toss maneuver. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Now, I don't want to be the detective here, right? An armchair detective. But you could tell a lot based on... Let me mute this, sorry. Am I wrong for saying that I know exactly how they look like just based on the body type? Am I wrong in saying that? I think. Is that pushing it? I mean, I don't... To say that they're wearing disguises is kind of stretching it, to be honest, because this leaves nothing to the imagination. And even if, you can't necessarily see their faces, I know exactly what they look like. This one in particular. That one over there doing something. The one with the spin kick, right, with the hair sticking out. Am I wrong to say that you know what they look like? Is that? I think that might be a little bit pushing it. They might be pushing it. But you could kind of get it, right? You get it. You get it. A gas station says something that I don't want to repeat. Marvel Studios has really run out of ideas. We'll fix it in post. Yeah, I don't know if that was maybe if they came from somewhere. There's a lot of speculation, right? I guess it happened a couple days ago, but I'm trying to find out because I want to know, is the mindset, okay, we came from some sort of event and we're dressed like this, or was the idea we're going to go to a Subway and we're going to rob them and we're going to wear something that makes us literally stand out. We're going to paint ourselves in neon. I feel, right, I want to give the human race a little bit of due diligence here. I feel like they came from somewhere, right? Maybe some sort of event, some sort of rave. I don't want to think that people just put on these outfits and said, let's just go hit up the Subway. Because if that's the case, then you're, I mean, literally not transparent, but yeah, you know what, we'll say that. It's literally transparent as to who you are. But they haven't caught him yet. Actually, let's see if there's any update on this particular story. I hope there is, because then that would at least bring me some closure to this ridiculous thing. I don't think they're caught, but green leotard. There's definitely some tard here. That's for sure. Robbery. Green leotard robbery. Aliens in neon bodysuits. Assault teens on New York subway train. Okay, that was 18 hours ago. Yeah, there's no update, unfortunately. Let's check New York Post. Nope. Let's see here. Again, every website that's news related in 2022 is just, let me show you what I'm looking at. I got an ad down here. I just got a prompt asking me, oh, hey, would you like to sign up? No, I don't want to sign up. I don't want to sign up. The mother said her daughter and a friend were on a platform going home. They were just literally standing on the train. These wretched grown women came from the stairs being all loud. Clues here, my friends. We're getting nothing but clues here. I feel, where's my my magic notebook from Blue's Clues? Right? You might see a weave. All right, I'll stop. They were literally just waiting to get on the train. My daughter was like, come. And they got to the other car. The women came on the other car. They attacked my daughter. There was a woman with red curly hair, and she was helping the teen. So apparently some people did help. But I want to see if there's an update. Look, oh, well, I mean, that kind of tells the story, right? That one kind of, I think we've solved the case. She's in excruciating pain when she breathes. It hurts. Yeah, I feel like that's a very easy way to get your ribs just caked in. The teenage mom. There's no update. There's no update here. I would have thought that maybe there would have been some sort of update. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to go dressed up in a neon outfit to go rob a teenager, right? Maybe you have to... You came from somewhere. I refuse to believe that they put on outfits to go rob somebody. Also, this pole needs a washing, right? This specific pole definitely needs a washing. I remember when I went to New York and, you know, had all the inhaled all the glory that is New York City. Going on the subway, we were with some people that were from New York, so at least I didn't feel like I was completely out of place. They knew the vibe, right? And there was just a homeless man just swinging next to me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's the here? Okay, here in Miami, we do have, quite a problem with homeless. They're going around, the crackies, more specifically. They're aggressive, but they're not punching the air. They're not, uppercutting about a foot away from you, right? On a crowded subway, which seems to be normal in New York. So I do recall seeing that and having a little bit of a culture shock. And also, it's gross. There's trash in the street. It smells. There's nothing magical about New York. I don't understand what the this vision. I guess Hollywood kind of portrays New York as this magical place. Yeah, it's magical if you want to see somebody defecating on a street corner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's where it's magical. Red Dead says, I'm back. Gas station again. I don't want to repeat that, but that's hysterical. Rando the Pirate here says, no one's looking for them. It wouldn't matter even if they had names. That is true. That is true. That seems to be a minor crime over there. But I'm refusing to believe that there's a logic, right? Maybe they thought if we put these on, we're going to be invisible to the cameras. I really hope that at least one of them gets caught where they say, hey, they ask them, what the fuck were you guys thinking? And then that's the explanation. Because that's what I'm guessing. If I were to put some money in and gamble as to what the explanation was for those outfits, hopefully as a human, I want to lean on the idea that they're coming from somewhere. They came from a rave. They came from a party. That's probably not likely. I feel like the logic is we're going to be invisible to the cameras. Ever heard of green screen? Maybe. That's what I feel like the logic might be. I quite like New York, but the people there were rude as fuck. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. I don't find the people there, at least the ones that we were, they weren't necessarily rude. I saw how they interacted with the general public walking through and all this stuff. Very cordial. I feel like there were a couple people that just struck up conversation just while we were waiting for stuff, just randoms. I'm like, well, okay, all right, that's not bad. But it was just the ambiance, the environment around. Maybe more or most New Yorkers are rude, and the ones that I dealt with were relatively nice. But just the ambiance around, it's conducive to be aggressive. You have a cubic block, right, of space, and you squeeze in about 1 million people in a block. Things are gonna happen. Right? People are going to get aggressive. When you sneeze in one part of town, somebody else is breathing the same sneeze in. It's congested. It feels claustrophobic. And I guess that's the appeal of it. The hero in me would have beat the brakes off them bitches, said Gutbuster Mike. I don't know. I feel like there's certain times where you feel like, yeah, I'm going to do something. But when you're in that scenario, it's like the kindergarten thing. How many kindergartners can you take in a fight? Right? Realistically, or when somebody brings that particular line of questioning, a theologian brings that particular line of questioning up, in your head you go, unlimited. I could take out unlimited kindergartners. Put me in a room, they're coming at me one at a time. I'll use one to swing at the other, right? Unlimited. No, you're going to get tired, right? You're going to get fatigued, and eventually one of them is going to snip at your leg. You're going to be there bleeding, and then they're going to take over just by the laws of numbers. Same thing here, right? And then would you be the one that's put in jail, essentially? Would you be the one? I don't know how it would work technically in that particular situation. Let's say you would, and maybe you give them a little bit of a drop kick. You use the bar as to grab, and then you give them a drop kick using your fucking patented Bob Holly from WWE technique. That's a callback reference there, right? You know what? That's a car crash. If you give them a drop kick, is that assault on your end? Or is that a good Samaritan? I don't know how that would work because they're not assaulting you, right? They're assaulting somebody else. So can you technically come in there and defend somebody? I don't know how that works. The Chroma Key Gang strikes again. New York City. That would you definitely should work in journalism because that would have been a headline that would have gotten some attention. Hey, the Chroma Key Gang is out here. Gang banging. My goodness. Today's not my day. How many kindergartners would PigCake fight? Again, I would say unlimited. I would say I could probably comfortably take unlimited. But realistically, depends. Are they coming at me in a group? Are they one by one? If it's 5 at a time, right? Because if it's 5 at a time, I feel like that's going to be way worse than 1 at a time. Because my logic there would be I have to really be hard on one of them. Like I have to just go in full force on one of them, and then it scares the other ones away, right? It would scare them. And then I would just have to expend energy chasing after them. And then what qualifies a victory? Is it Mortal Kombat? Or is it, do they have to tap out? Do they have to give up? Right? So there's a lot of ifs and what's here when it comes to that line of thinking. PigCake's a lover, not a fighter. That's why he's not within 100 feet of a school. You know, by all technicalities, I was not allowed within a school. But that's just due to getting fired from the school. It's not like there was any sort of law preventing me. It was just being kicked out of a place, technically. I think we've all been there with bars. Here's the real question. When kids surround them and don't show fear when you destroy one, how many then? No, yeah, then at that point, if you're putting a group of superhuman kindergartners that don't have any emotion, and when I destroy one, when I just get one and ankle lock it and rip its dumb little leg off, and the other ones just keep looking at me like the children of the corn, yeah, all right, at that point I might be in trouble. But it could just be up to my my level of cardio, right? It could just be up to my cardio. But I think comfortably 50 kindergartners I could probably take in a fight one by one in groups of 5, maybe. Again, the numbers rule, right? And also, I'm not that much taller than kindergartners. So there's also that. There's a lot of factors here, my friends. It's not just clear cut. What was this one? This was a TickTock. I guess, yeah, I wanted to get into that topic of podcasts. And I know it's coming from me, right? Where it's kind of thick. And you might assume, whoa, hey, look at the kettle calling the pot black, of which I would remind you, that's racist. That's racist. But I hate this trend of podcasts where it's usually girls, sometimes dudes, but most of the time they're girls, that they say things that are not really crazy, but they're surrounded by a gaggle of hens that make it seem like what they're saying is crazy, right? So this is one that I found. I was like, one of these. Fresh just the upspeak. Oh God, very attractive, but not a fan of the upspeak. This is what you'll see very commonly, right? There's a podcast with like 4 or 5 girls, and there's always like archetypes. There's the hoe. There's the studious. There's the person that's like kind of the problem solver, right? There's the quirky one. And they talk about things as if, you know, it's, I would say this is a crazy story. This is insane. Or they'll say something vaguely controversial just to try to get a reaction, right? So they'll be like, I don't like sugar. I don't like the way chocolate tastes, right? Like that sort of vibe. And then the other ones will be like, whoa, what are you talking about? That's crazy. These are very common now. I know it might not be common to Jesus, fuck. I can't even do the car crash here. It might not be common to people that aren't necessarily watching TikToks and or Instagrams, but I'm trying to show you as to the society that you're missing out on, right? Which is a good thing. If you're distracted with a wife and kids and a normal life, right? You get to ignore this sort of stuff. But I want to show you what's in the muck. This is the muck. And it's this sort of stuff. Very, very attractive person. But just listen to the...
Out of high school, I don't know, I was single, hanging out with my friends. We were hanging out at one of our really good friends' houses. And when
I first heard this, by the way, I thought it was immediately going to turn into like 3 dicks. Like when she was first describing, sorry to interrupt here. I'm like, okay, there's going to be 3 dicks involved in this particular story. Guaranteed. When I first started, I was in high school, I was single, I was coming out. I'm like, yes, there's going to be 3 penises involved in your story. I already see it. I could predict it using my Illusionist How to Read Minds kit. But
super drunk because I can't handle my alcohol. I never really drank, so I'm like, let's get up. There's only like 4 of us at the house. We're just partying. Yeah.
wow, so quirky. Oh my god. Her personality type is I love early onset alcohol-induced diabetes. That's her personality. I love that. So quirky.
Oh, you're having a rager.
It's her and her 3 other personalities.
Yeah.
She was actually alone.
Long story short, I wake up the next morning. So I'm like sitting there on my phone and I'm like it smells like shit. I look down and I'm like, holy shit, there's like shit on the floor. It gets better. So there's like a poop pad in the kitchen.
What I don't understand is that's normal, man. That's a normal outing. What are you talking about? They try to make it seem like it's a big deal, or she tries to make it seem like it's a big deal. Oh, you found poop, right? That's normal, man. That's not a big deal. That's not an event. That's not a story-worthy thing to relay to your friends, especially what the end is, right? The fucking kicker. But what? That's a Sunday. That's a Sunday.
Kitchen because he has a chihuahua, and I was like, wow. And there was poop on the pad, and I was like, that's weird because it's like this little pebbles from a chihuahua, and over on the side of the couch it was like a horse dump, and I was like, so I took a picture of the I kid you not, I took a picture of the and I sent it to the kid, and I go, how the did this come out of your dog's ass? I was like freshly out of high school.
Wow, there's not even I thought there was at least an explanation as to where the poop came. I hate these. I fucking hate these. And they're so often that I see this, and they fucking, I subject my eyes and ears to this sort of stuff. Oh, God. Oh, hey, you know what's crazy? I went outside and then it started raining. But I think the part that's the best about these sort of podcasts with mostly females that run them is that there's such a thin line between them being friends and them never talking to each other again, right? With guys, I feel, just a little observation here, right? Don't hit the messenger, but you could have a argument where somebody talks about your family members, your significant other, your kids, and then it's still okay, right? It'll still be fine. We just bitched at each other and then we're good now. That's the way things work. Maybe there might have been a little bit of a scuffle, right? A little grappling match, but all it takes is just one sentence with any one of these, particular podcasts, and that friendship group would be destroyed forever. There's no redeeming aspect of it. I feel like that's the case. That's my objective. I might come off as I'm saying this as, it's my opinion. No. It's objective. There's such a thin line between never talking to each other again and blocking them and disowning them, even if they're like relatives. I feel like that's the case. And I've seen that personally a couple times in my life with friend groups that are female. Male groups is just oh shit, yeah, whatever. We just had a scream argument. You know how many times I've had arguments loudly in restaurants with my friends? Just, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Just one of those that would, potentially scare away anyone. But, next day, hey man, what's up? You want to get a coffee? Yeah. Very common. PigCake should teach Ed Marlowe tricks. That might be the most virgin-y. I'm going to give you the pin of shame for that. Red Dead. That's pretty rough. Pin message. I'm going to pin of shame that because that's the most virgin-y thing I've seen all day. It's 11:49 Eastern Time Pacific, and I don't think I'm going to come across anything more virgin-y than that particular sentence. So you should enjoy yourself for being today's pin of shame. I might need to add a little animation there, right? Have a little button, pin of shame, and then pin of glory when you say something funnier than I could ever make. The Mckamey Manor is fucking crazy. Why people would voluntarily subject themselves to brainless torture. Me, just before I sit PigCake, force us to watch TickToks. Right? Yeah, you could argue somehow, metaphorically, right? This is a Mckamey Manor. Welcome to the Mckamey Manor PigCast. This is essentially it, right? It's meta because you assume that the Mckamey Manor aspect was me talking about it. No, my friends. It's me subjecting you to the conditions of the podcast. Even if you're over there and I'm over here, I'm still subjecting you to the conditions of the house, rather, not the podcast. Fuck. It's me subjecting you, right, to the same conditions, but virtually through watching. Let me see what I would rate them. They're just so done up. Let me objectify for a second here, right? So this is nothing out of place. Who said that beautiful is beautiful but only ugly, or some quote? It might have been that I'm completely butchering. Dorian Gray, maybe. Only ugly is beautiful, something like that. But it gets to the point where you're so attractive that it's not even a thing anymore. Like, I'm not a fan, right? Gorgeous, but I'm not a fan. Let's see, the other ones, maybe when they turn to them, that's the better one, but still done up. There's something done up here. This one, completely plastic. Right? I can't even rate them. I just feel uncomfortable when you're that attractive. Hungry and Hungover says, hey, PigCake, when you ever feel down, do you turn to motivation? Any good quotes or any advice? I don't know. You feel down quite often as a person, right? And one of the terms that I hate to hear, it's okay to not be okay. No, it's not. Do something about it, right? Like, it's not okay. Do something about it. It's a very easy thing that you could print on a thing, and then people go, wow, it's okay not to be okay, guys. No. Do something about it, right? It's like YOLO. I think people misinterpreted YOLO, or maybe YOLO was misinterpreted, right? You only live once, so it's not a YOLO. I can't pretend to gulp that because I have no control over my throat, but you know what I mean? Oh, YOLO, let me just chug this full glass of Maker's Mark. It's not the way it works, right? YOLO, you only live once. Value the life that you have. It's not okay to be okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's not. Do something about it. Talk to somebody, figure it out. Get better. That's the key. But if I'm ever down, you kind of have to remind yourself as to your mortality. I think that's what helps me out. Not to get a little bit odd here, but you remind yourself, like, is this really worth, am I going to think about this in 5 years, right? This downtime, whether it's a financial rut, a relationship rut, whether it's anything, you got to remind yourself, like, is this something that's worth my time to care about, my limited time? We're here for a very limited amount with a lot of shit. Is this worth of mental space to feel anguish for with my limited time on this planet? Right, and try to remind yourself and become lucid at the fact that you are a person. That helps me out. I don't know if that's a psychotic way of approaching things, but that usually helps me out when I'm feeling down in a rut. Also, I like to go on walks, right? And you kind of think about stuff and you come up with solutions to the problems that you have. And you realize, you know what? Objectively, I'm one of a billion people having the same problem. Right? It's not a unique problem to me. There's no problem that you have. No problem that somebody else hasn't gone through, that somebody else that's in a worse position than you hasn't gone through and solved. Right? No one. There's nothing. No matter how specific, even if it's a disease, there's nothing that you've gone through that somebody else hasn't already gone through that's probably worse off than you. So you could deal with it. You could definitely deal with it. So let's look at his Instagram feeds. Dad laugh. For those who conquer himself is the mightiest warrior. See, look at that. Motivational quotes. You would have never thought you would have gotten some motivational talk here on the PigCast, right? Where we objectify women seemingly. That's a joke, right? I care about women. I value women. YouTube, Twitch, please. Speaking of Twitch. Maybe they are scared of those wicked ninja skills. They don't want to catch a roundhouse kick to the face. Talking about the leotards, all right? That's a great name. The green leotards. Emphasis on the tards. What's going on here? Pins of shame are easy to get, and PigCake can no longer objectify women. Is the ground freezing, or is it just me? Right? I'm glad that's the baseline. I don't know if that's a good thing to be for my baseline to be. Wow, PigCake's saying that it's a joke. that he's objectifying women. What land are we in right now? Where do we find ourselves? That's a good thing. But learn to heal hungry and hungover, or you'll spend all your life bleeding on those who didn't cut you. Ooh, Red Dead. Wow, look at that. For somebody that had a pin of shame today, right? So it's very good insight. Let's see. For he who loves himself is the greatest wanker. That's another term, by the way. I hate that term. You guys in the fucking land of the kingdom, the land of the fucking, well, I was going to say the queen, the former land of the queen. Wanker is such a terrible term, right? Knackered. Oh, I'm knackered, right? And if you say that in the wrong context, you're going to get jumped by people wearing green leotards. So it's not a good word, right? Same thing with wanker. Oh, you're such a wanker, right? What? Everybody's a wanker. Every single person's a wanker. Your grandmother's a wanker. At some point, she's put something in there, right? And not by accident, and took it out and put it back in. Everybody's a wanker. So what does it mean? Oh, you're a wanker, right? Sawed off. What? What are these terms, man? What are these terms? Maybe we should go back there, right? I say, right, with our current, mentality here in the States of wondering what's going on in overseas conflict. Maybe we should start a conflict and take back and turn the United Kingdom into something good, something better, right? My goodness. Jesus, with all your terrible terms and your TV licenses, you guys need a little bit of a dose of Americanism, right? You make fun of us for our snacks and our hobbies of school shootings, right? You make fun of us for that. But what do you got over there? You got wankers and people telling you to saw it off, right? What's this? Oh, yeah. Oh, watch out. I'm going to get in a fight because I did this to someone. What? By the way, a fight with a guy with the same haircut. Every Brit bro has this haircut. Let me see if I could find it. I don't know the name of it. What am I going to look up? Maybe I'm dumb. But it's the same haircut. It's the sides. You get a fade on the sides. And then the top is long. And you kind of have the fringe here. Right? But it's curly. Every dude has the same haircut. And they're all dressed in soccer jerseys to go out. So you go out on a Saturday to a club wearing a soccer jersey? What? That or the same tight, like unnecessarily tight shirt. And you look at their arms and there's nothing. There's nothing. Right? I'm not body shaming, but have something. Do a push-up. Don't just have a pipe arm. Please. Please. They make fun of our school pew-pews, but they eat stale toast and cold beans, of which I have a video trying beans on toast. And the advice that I was given was, whoa, dude, you didn't put enough butter on the toast. That's why you didn't like it as much. I liked it. It was good. Don't tell me that adding butter is going to make it better. Adding butter to anything makes it better. Adding butter to a divorce makes it better. All right? Don't tell me that adding butter to the toast is going to make it better. Yeah, obviously. If I add butter to coffee, it makes it taste better. So that's a cheat. But no, if you add butter, it'll make it better. Blackpool, close enough, to be honest. Where'd you stay in the UK? A prison? Yeah. Peter Turner's house. Odd. Such an odd combination of stuff at his house. Very nice, though, but my goodness. PigCake should get Max Maven's haircut. I have Max Maven's haircut, right? If you look, talk about hat fishing, right? That's a thing, by the way, that I've seen on TickTock. Again, I'm sorry, being a 32-year-old man, and most of my knowledge of societal issues come from TickTock. Alas, my friends, that's where we find ourselves in. But girls are telling dudes to take off their hats now and see what they look like without the hats, right? And for me, it looks like a car crash under there. So my hairline is essentially here, right? I have a nice tuft of hair here. Hair thick, illustrious hair everywhere else. But the fucking hairline is here. So it's god-awful. My goodness. I'd rather have a crowning baldness than a hairline baldness. Because here, I can't, from the front, right, I have to wear hats to hide that. Or I have to have some sort of weird thing to cover that. But I almost have the Max Maven haircut. But at least the rest of it is thick and illustrious. What's this? I know a lot about you. Like, while you're watching this ad, And it's specifically because you've looked up magic tricks. Well, hey there, my name's PigCake, and I've been doing magic trick tutorials on YouTube for the better part of 6 years. And I'm here to tell you about the PigCake Magic Academy with over 1,200 videos already uploaded, designed to make you an expert magician. You get access to all the content the moment you sign up, and I'm uploading every single week. As a matter of fact, I uploaded a video today. Just look at that list of moves, tricks, ideas that you're gonna get access to the moment you sign up. It doesn't end. As a matter of fact, I could stop talking completely, and the list is still gonna keep going. Just look. So check it out, the PigCake Magic Academy. The link is going to be below. I go with you, but I'm stuck in this video. But I'll wait for you to go ahead and click it. Go ahead, you know you want to. Funny, that was before the tattoos, right? I think that was before? No, that was after. Maybe they're well covered, or before this one, at least for sure. Wow, what was that? That was a weird ad, right? For the PigCake Magic Academy. Laundry list of stuff. That list keeps getting stuff added to it, my friends. It's not just a stagnant list. What are you doing with your life? Males hatfishing while females catfishing their whole social media identity. I want to know. Maybe I should have an interview on these. Maybe one of them. I'll try to have a female on and ask her about their social media endeavors, right? And because to me it doesn't make any sense as to why they have face app, the Facetune stuff, right? And I know so many people that they slim their face, they take off, they make it look alien like. You have to know that that's not how you look like, right? Like, you have to. It's not a self-love thing. It's you have to know that the person on Instagram and all these other apps is not the same person. And I think it's gotten better over the years for some reason. The mid-2000s were just gross with people, the dog filters. What? So I feel like I need to get a female here and ask her, like, hey, what's wrong with you, first of all? Like, yeah, okay, we're hat fishing as men, but your whole existence is a catfish. So I'll see if I could get one on board. The wizard, the wizard, yeah. I know other females other than my mother. Okay, Manel, thank you for that. Phil Smith says, okay, kids gotta go. Good sesh team. Hey, Phil, thank you for coming on. It's always great to have you on and provide some semblance of logic to what is otherwise a chaotic muck. Mike says, I'm waiting for the PigCake shaves his head, so he's bald on purpose face. Here's the problem. I've battled with the idea of getting a really short haircut. You've seen what it looks like on those thumbnails. I had some thumbnails recently. That's how my old haircut was. I just had the little thing here, and everything was cut with a 2 on the sides. If I get a complete, it's going to highlight my hairline more. It's going to highlight my shitty hairline more. And I'd wear hats regardless. So I feel like this, I'm going to keep it long. I'm going to keep it long for the time being. I'm going to keep the Joe Shalacy. It's a very specific reference that I'm having here. If you are a fan of First 48, seasons 1 through 8, where they were in Miami, Joe Shalacy. That's the hair that I'm keeping here. Wow, dude. Yeah, that's awful. That's the hair that I'm keeping right here. This guy is my favorite cop in that show. It was First 48, which is a show where they would follow you in the first 48 hours. They would follow you. They would follow the cops in the first 48 hours of a murder, right? And they would follow the detectives. And this guy was my favorite. Let me see if I can show some better pictures here. Oh fuck, come on, show the face. Come on, man. Come on, man. I was president under Toboggan. All right. Okay, let me see if I could. This is just the worst. I hate Google on Bing. Okay. Yeah, I feel that's the sort of haircut that I have here. Kind of long. I don't know if he kept the ponytail. But this is my favorite cop in that show, Joe Shalacy, because at some point in that show, he goes to a park and there are people shooting up, and then he has his gun out like this, And he walks up to the people and he goes, hey, put the needle down. Like this. It's how he's holding the gun. Finger on the trigger. Like that. And then he turns to the camera and goes, they were going to jump at me with their needles. And like this. Like that. Like an old-timey bad guy. Right? Hand out. I don't know if obviously it was staged for the show or whatever. They were trying to do something. But he walks up. Maybe I could show you better. Like this. Right? Like this. He goes, hey, put the needle down with his gun. And absolutely no discipline whatsoever here. That was a great time watching that show. And Homeboy here was my favorite person on First 48. But I don't know what he's done as of late. Obviously, probably retired. PigCake should try straightening his hair. I have a hair. I have one. I've done it. I look Indian. I look like Native American, rather. Because it's just there's something wrong about it. But I've done it. All right, I've done it sometimes. People like to touch it, which is odd. Hey, oh my God, look at your hair. I'm like, all right, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Jay Sankey V2. Bye, Daddy Phil. Great. Jesus. Piggy should show a picture of him with a mustache again. I don't know if I have any here, if I could show it quickly without exposing too much. Actually, no, I do have it here on a desktop. So let me see if I could do this. If I still have the thumbnail. What an awful, awful picture. Oh, God. Yeah, you know what? I'll show this. Can I show this without exposing too much? Maybe. We'll see. Let me see. Let me see what I'm looking at here. God. Oh. I'm almost embarrassed to show this. But look at the... Let's zoom in here so you kind of get the vibe here. Look at that guy, dude. Oh. My goodness. What a rough one. What a rough one. Right? A weird V-neck. Still have that. This IT guy glasses. Right? Oh, hi. Can I fix your HP Pavilion laptop? Can I fix your ThinkPad? Your fucking ThinkPad? I got upset looking at myself. Yeah, this was a rough look. This was a Supercuts haircut. I'd go to Supercuts and I'd say, hey, let me get a 2 on the sides and just do scissors on top. And then this is what I allowed myself to look like for years on end. What a rough one. Yeah, I definitely look like Patel is part of my name. Let me see if maybe I could go through here. I know that I have another one that's pretty rough, but I don't know where to find it here, unfortunately, on my desktop. I saw a dick pic the other day. Not somebody else's dick pic, but a dick pic of my own going through one of my hard drives. I'm not a fan of that. I know in the fucking England, everybody has a fucking picture of their dick on their phone. What? My goodness, gross. But I found a dick pic of myself the other day, back years ago. It was weird. Weird to see my penis. It felt like I was catfishing my own penis. And I don't feel like my tricks to make it look big were good. Right? Because now you have wide angle cameras. You know, you could the closer you get, it looks bigger, it looks girthier. Not then. Then I just had a top down kind of holding it. Not good technique. I definitely changed my technique. Let's go back through here. Manderm looks like tech support. Yes, hello. Could you fix my computer? I'm underwater. That's what I feel like I look like when it comes to that fucking video. Peter Turner has a dick pic on his phone. Not him. No, there were others that I was with that had dick pics on their phone. But I think if I recall correctly, Turner did not have a dick pic. Best part of visiting my grandma, every time I go back, I get handsomer and taller, right? Oh, you're so strong, especially if they have you get a gallon of milk from the fridge, and then you pull it with one hand, and they go, oh my God, so strong. Your gallon of milk, right? They're feeling like you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. You could do red face, piggy, magician, firearms expert, grand virgin, 12th rank. Why is there a photo of Magic Murray there? I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that was a rough look, and I'm glad that we could all share that. But that's the stream for today, guys. That's the PigCast for Wednesday. Obviously, I'm going to be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. As I've mentioned before, I'm streaming every day. I'm going to stream every single day, right? On top of the already content that I put out there on the many different media providers, right? YouTube, Patreon, whatever else. I'm putting everything out there. I'm doing streams every day, seeing how that works. So 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Let me see if I could give you any sort of advice. Usually I like giving some sort of tips here at the end of the video. Usually it could require something around. Coffee, I guess, is a good one, right? Instant coffee is bad, right? Instant coffee is terrible because you're doing it wrong, right? You're shocking the freeze-dried crystals. So what you do is that you put instant coffee and then you put cold water. You put cold water so that when you put the hot water on it, my goodness, and you mix it, you're not shocking the coffee crystals. So then you're going to get a smoother cup. I'm not saying that instant coffee is good, but I have a whole thing of it that I'm trying to go through. So I'm not going to just waste it. I'm going to run through it, right? That's how I was raised. Hey, don't waste it. Use it, unless it's grotesquely expired. But so you want to put coffee with cold water, mix it, and then get your kettle, and then put the hot water on there. Right, so you're not shocking the coffee, and then it's gonna taste a lot better. It's actually not gonna taste like instant coffee. I wouldn't know because I add about 1,000 things to my coffee. Protein, I add sweetener. I know, yeah. Oh my gosh, sweetener is bad for you. Yeah. So is dick. Right, you don't see me shying away from that, right? And then vanilla. So there you go. A little tip here at the end. You don't want to shock your coffee, but it's actually not bad. So if you ever want to make your instant coffee better, cold water, instant coffee, mix, hot water, mix, and then add your stuff, and you're going to have good coffee. And also remember insider trading. Nancy Pelosi does insider trading. It's unfair.